Okay, in this video we have finished adding the page 1 components. We're done with page 1 components, and next we're going to add the components onto the place details page, which is the second page. So now you'll notice this is a pretty long section, and we do the first we do the left column, then we do the right column. You may notice that if you do shrink it to so it only fits on one column, it does display in the right order. So place details here, so you can go down the line like this if you want to have this window open at the same time that you have your Ionic Creator open. So anyway, so I'm going to open up my places right here. And we see I'm done with the first page, so let me go to the second page over on the left here. I can click Details, and here we are. So we're going to start by adding a heading and continuing on here. So let's add a heading, which is right here, the first component. Put that over on the top here. And inside the heading, I'm going to put curly space post result dot name space curly, and I'm going to change that to a heading 3, a little bit smaller, and I'm going to center it. Okay, next I'm going to add a paragraph, and this paragraph I'm going to center it, and I'm going to make it say post result dot vicinity curly. And let's see. Next, I'm gonna let's see what we're doing here. Let's look at Thai Valley Cuisine, and we see here we have we're adding this, and then we're going to add this rating thing. Let's go to a place that's got a right side rating, like Taco Bell. Yeah, that's got a price level rating and a star rating and a price level rating. So we're going to be creating this, and then we're going to be putting these two buttons in, adding this here, and then adding this map thing here. So let me put this back up here. And so next we're going to add a container that contains those two rating columns. And this is a row. And rows contain columns. So let's put another container in here and make this a column of size 50. In case you wondered, this is 50%. So it doesn't accept all percentages. In fact, it accepts very few. But anyway, 50 is one of them. And then inside the container, I'm going to put a paragraph inside the container. Make sure it's inside. And I'm going to make this say star rating star. And then if you have the Pro version, we're going to add an angular directive here to make it disappear if there is no rating. ng hide, and the variable for that will be hide rating. Next, let's add a container below the paragraph. So let's grab a container here and try to put it right underneath the paragraph, but inside so it is inside the container underneath the paragraph. If you look over on the left here, we see that right underneath the markdown, which is the paragraph, is the container that we have just added. So let's, inside that container, we make that it's a div. And oh, we're going to make that, this outside one should be a column 50. And the one we've just added, that's a row. And that also we will hide if there's no rating. ng hide rating. And so that's a row. And then inside the row, we're going to put another container that's got a column. Inside rows go columns. And this is going to be a 25 size column, 25%. And that's because we're going to put the rating number right here, and that's 25%, and then the actual icon, the rating stars will go, and that'll probably be 75. So let's add a paragraph inside there. Inside that 25, yeah, it's kind of tricky to get it in there. There we go. You can actually click up on your browser and make it bigger, and that may help a little. And we're going to replace that text there with we're going to make the color be this color. So I'm going to copy and paste. So it's this red color. And I'm going to align this center. And I'm going to change the content to curly space post dot result dot rating space curly. Okay. And then that takes care of that one. Now I'm going to add what is going to be where I'm going to put the stars. And so we suggest here that we just duplicate this. We duplicate the 25, and then in the second one we can just modify that to accept the star icons. So let's make sure this is the paragraph we have selected. If we select the next level up, it's the container, it's the call 25 container. So let's duplicate that. We can click the duplicate button here, and we've got 2 in a row there. And now let's change this to 75, make it a little bigger. And I'm going to get rid of the text, rid of that. Oh, I'm just going to exit out. And I'm going to add an image inside here. So let's find an image. Here we go. I'm going to put that right inside there. There we go. I think that's in there. Yes, it is. Image. And this is going to be linked to a page. It's not linked. It's going to be this and then not linked. And then for the source, I'm going to click switch to text input. And then for the URL, I'm going to put curly space data dot star underscore rating underscore icon space curly. And then I'm going to auto size it 100% and auto, and I'm going to position it center. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's that. And next, we're going to add a container, and we're going to do basically the same thing for the price level. So what it suggests here, what we suggest is that we just duplicate the left container that we just made with the rating icons, and then we delete and modify to put the price rating in. So let's do that. Let's see, we have just selected the image here. This is the container containing the image. Let's go up one, and this is the row. Let's go up one more, and this is the entire container. This is the row container. So let me click on this one again. Let me go up one, and that's the call 25. And let's go up one more. You gotta be careful when you click here. That's the row, and then we go up one more. That's the call 50. Here's the call 50. It contains this whole thing. That's what we want to duplicate. So we can either, I just wanted to mention, you can over on the left here click duplicate if we want to do the whole thing there, but it's perfectly fine doing it here. So I'm going to click, and now we've got two of them. So now I'm going to go through and make the modifications. This is the same. We're going to add an angular directive here. Which we're going to hide this whole right side here. We can't do this on the rating side, on the left side, because we still want the space to be taken up, because we want the price level to always appear on the right side. But when there's no price level, then it doesn't matter, so we can just hide the whole thing when there's no price level. So I'm going to put ng hide price level. And then inside here, we're going to, let's go inside here, container. This is the row we want, not this one. I think we want to change this here to price level. Here we go, price level. There we go. And then in here, we're going to modify this so it is the same color. We don't need to modify the color, but we are going to change result price level, or result rating to result price level underscore level. Okay, and then we're going to modify the image so it grabs, instead of star underscore rating icon, it's going to be price underscore level underscore icon. And I think everything else is the same. Okay, so that's good. So we're done with that. Let's go back and see where we are. We've added the container, the price level container. We've modified all that. And next we're going to add a spacer at the bottom. And the reason we add the spacer at the bottom is because we're going to be adding some more components that go below the page here. And we have difficulty, depending on your browser and your screen size and so on, you have difficulty sometimes adding components at the very bottom. So I'm just going to put something big at the bottom. Let me put a spacer down there, right here, put that at the bottom. And this is going to be how big is it right now? It's 100 pixels. We can make it 50. So it's about this big. And let's just leave that right there. So that'll always be at the bottom. Okay, so let's go back to here. We've added the spacer. Now let's go to step 5 here. And we're going to add all these components below, above the spacer that we just added. So let's go over here and start by adding a container. Above the spacer. This is a row. And so the way we're going to do this one is, I can't remember exactly why we're doing it this way, but we're going to create the More button first. And then once we've created that one, we're going to duplicate that one, and then we're going to modify the one on the left so it has the phone number here. So let's do that. So I'm going to add another container here inside. Inside the row goes columns, and this one's going to be called -34. So it's you can do -33 or 34, and it ends up being a third of the width. And inside right there, we're going to add a button, and the button is going to be a link to. It's going to be this one, a link to post.result.URL. And the text is going to say more space ... And we're going to align it center. And we can put an icon on the right. That is the ION-IOS-arrow right. And we want the icon on the right. And so we put that there, position on the right. Okay, next we're gonna create the phone number button, but this time we're gonna duplicate the one we just created, and then we're gonna edit the one on the left. So here we are. I've got the button, the container. We got to duplicate the container, duplicate the call 34. So duplicate that inside, and so that takes up that. And now we're going to edit this one over here on the left. And to do that, we're going to first change it to call 66. Go back up here to container and make it call 66. And we're going to add some spacing, and we're going to add a little bit of spacing. You notice we'd like to have a little spacing between these buttons here, and to do that, we're going to actually use some styling, and we're going to add an angular directive, but this is not really an angular directive. It's a style attribute, and it's going to be padding -right : 20 pixels. So we're going to pad the right side 20 pixels. And the reason for that is we want to put some space in between these two buttons. So we're going to make this button a little, the container a little bit less room inside, so it's going to look like white space. Okay, so that's that. And now let's click on the button itself, and we're going to modify the button. We're going to change the link up here to a phone link, and the phone link is going to be curly curly host dot result dot formatted underscore phone underscore number space curly curly. So that means the phone number will appear. I know that's the phone number itself is going to be the phone link. That's the number we're going to call. And then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it down here and replace more with that. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to align it center. It is. We're not going to have any kind of icon. Let's get rid of the icon. No icon. And we're going to have, when you press it, it's a link. So it dials the phone, but we want to hide it if there's no phone number. Okay. All right. So what does this look like now? I'm wondering why this still says more. Well, we want to take this, copy, and paste it here. All right, that's better. I wonder why they didn't catch before. Okay. And so that takes care of the phone number. And I'm going to see what happens if I just look at this page. Okay, there, good. There's that space, and we shouldn't see any phone number because it's taken from a data item. All right, so that looks good. So next we're going to do the hours here. And so that's a little bit complicated. We're going to have an open or close thing over there. So let's add that. We are right here, step 6. So let's add a container. Above the spacer. And it's a row. And then inside the row, let's put a column, 50, call -50. And let's put a paragraph inside that. And let's make the paragraph say hours. And let's put an Angular directive, which we will add later. If you have the free version, ng hide hours. It's possible we don't get back any hours. Okay. Next, we're going to do the open side. We're going to do the right side. So let me just duplicate the 50-50. So I'm going to click up here, container, and that is the call 50. I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to make it red. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to copy this. The paragraph itself here will be red. Copy. This is going to be red. Red. And it's going to be aligned right. and it's going to say open, not hours. And I'm going to add an Angular directive here that says ng hide if it's not open. And then below that, right below that, we're going to add another paragraph for closed. Now, I can just duplicate this paragraph. It should go right underneath. There we go. And so here we are. This is going to be, we're going to change the color of this to this nice gray here. Let's copy that gray. Copy. And over here, and I'm going to go paste. There we go. Nice gray. And I want this to say closed. And we're going to make the ng hide be hide closed. All right. So we're done with that. And so we have taken care of this line here, and next we're going to add the hours. So we are right here. Okay. So let's add a container above the spacer. And it's not, the classes is going to be blank. And we're going to add some Angular directives here, which is going to be, one's a style. It's not Angular, but adding dash left, colon 10 pixels. And we're going to hide this ng hide if there's no hours. Next, we're going to add some HTML inside this container. So let's find HTML and put it inside. And then inside for the HTML, I'm just going to copy. Basically what this does is this will repeat for each set of hours, for each day, the hours that are returned from Google Places. So I'm just going to copy this, copy, and go back here and paste it inside this HTML. Just like that. Okay, so that's like right there, and let me just, on the left here, let me click on, this is the container that contains the HTML, this is the spacer. Okay, so right above the spacer, let me find a paragraph. I'm going to put right above the spacer, which is below the container that contains the HTML. I'm going to replace this with just 5 underscores, and it turns into a nice line. Okay, next I'm going to add a slider. I'm going to do this one here. So we're almost done. I'm going to find a slider, which is right here. I'm going to put that above the spacer. Right there. There we go. And I'm going to make the size, this is the size of the slider, 100% by 300 pixels. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And this is what it looks like right now. And then I'm going to add, see, there are 3 slides already, it looks like. I'm going to add one more slide. Click here, slide 4. And the first thing I'm going to do is delete this heading. Let me click there and just delete that, just the heading. See, it says heading up here. Delete that. And then I'm going to switch down here. I'm going to switch this from, I'm going to say switch to text input. And right here for the URL, I'm going to put curly space data dot map 4 space curly. And then I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to edit slide 1. And I'm going to get rid of the cute kitties and replace this with curly data dot map 1 space curly. And let me go to slide number 2. And I'm going to get rid of this little munchkin here and change it to curly data dot map 2 space curly. And then slide 3 will be switch to text, curly space data dot map 3 space curly. Okay. And so we're done with the map part. This is the map. And if we want, we can add one more paragraph at the bottom here above the spacer. And we can center this and say, replace this and say, swipe to zoom. And then let's put like one more paragraph down here. And let's make this another horizontal line. Okay. So that's pretty good. I think we are done with the content on the second page. Let's just take a look at it and see what it looks like. We should not see any of the curlies. Okay, it doesn't look like we do. All right. So I'm going to close out my project here, and thanks for watching.